every small decision that you make that is in alignment with your heart is creating major waves, ripples of change that is moving out into your past timelines and upgrading them, because it's bringing back power to the now, and then it's moving out into your future timeline and upgrading your future self, which then comes back to the now and upgrades you in the now, because the past, the future, and the now are all really happening now. And we continue to create the past as we hold on to old wounds, old emotional structures, old belief systems. So every time we make a decision that is based in the heart rather than in a fear that's being created from the past, then we actually go back and upgrade that past, and it upgrades our future and upgrades us now. So I wanted to bring this through because I know that I'm speaking to people in my life and they're making these small, what appear to be these small steps to take back their power, to do something that is aligned with their heart, rather than what all the fears of their mind tell them they should do, rather than what's being reflected back from other people's fears that often just mirror your own fears. And they don't realize that these little small decisions are them reclaiming a piece of their own authentic soul. And every time you do that, it sends massive shockwaves through your whole timeline, and it heals past timelines and it upgrades future timelines. So you may not realize in the now the massive ripple effect that that decision is making for you. So I'm going to give you an example of this. I was speaking to my brother, and he for a long time he's been on this loop of just replaying these same patterns over and over again, because he's been afraid to do what he really, really, truly wanted to do in his heart because of all the judgment. And there was judgment, but a lot of the judgment is his own, right? And it just gets mirrored back to him. And, he's been doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of healing, he's been awakening. And on this journey, he's finally aligned with a decision that is from his heart. And even though those fears are still there, he's facing those fears and he's doing it anyway, because he's realizing that those fears have been keeping him stuck, and just really keeping him stuck in that slave system. And instead he's made a decision that is from his heart, and he doesn't know where it's going to lead him. And I can see, as he tells me, I can see into his future, and I can see the massive impact that one seemingly small decision is rippling through his life and making. So if you're watching this video right now, perhaps you've just made a small decision, or what appears to be a small decision, to align with something that you want to do, rather than what other voices are telling you you should do, rather than the expectations of the collective consciousness, which the reality of the collective consciousness, although it's changing now as we're all doing this work, but a lot of the collective consciousness has been stuck in the slave system. And that's why we can look out and we can see depression, we can see anxiety, we can see disconnection, because the collective consciousness has been stuck in following these fears of the mind rather than connecting into the heart. In fact, it was so interesting when I was talking to my brother the other day, because he's just left Christianity, and he was telling me about, and he was in it for a long time, and he was telling me about how a lot of the Bible really tells you not to trust. I can't remember the exact words he said, but basically not to trust your own instincts, your own intuition, i.e. don't trust what's in your heart, and to follow what the book tells you, follow all these rules and regulations, and to almost even feel guilty and bad about your own desires and longings to follow what's in your heart. So it's no surprise, right, that we've created, and I'm not just blaming religion for this, and I'm not saying you're bad or you're wrong if you subscribe to religion, but we can see how these structures have been used, and many other structures, all of our structures really, to keep us stuck in the head and to keep us making decisions from fear and not from the heart. So every time we made a decision from fear, we've basically further entrenched the wound, the programming, and we've kept ourselves locked in that same future. So every time we start to move up in courage and we start to move from the heart space, then we're literally healing the past and we're upgrading our future, and we're moving ourselves onto these higher timelines and seeing the external shift in relation to that internal. Well, that's going to come in time. First, it happens in the inner world. First, we feel it and we have to embody it and we have to receive it and allow it and embrace it deep into our inner world. And then the outside starts to shift to reflect that. So, many of us are on this path right now of awakening, of moving into the heart space. It's not to say that you never use the mind. There's room for logic and reason, but a lot of our logic and reason has been completely distorted, and it's not logic and it's not reason. It's not logical to shut down your heart space and not follow what's in your heart, because it is in your heart space that God, Source, the living, loving intelligence, Mother, Father, God has placed the keys and the coordinates for your destiny. It's where your soul blueprint is held. It's where you're going to start to discover true joy and bliss. And it's not to say that that road of following your heart is always going to be easy, especially at first, because as soon as you've made that decision to start following your heart and facing the fears of the mind, then you've got to go through you're on a process of healing. And it's this process of healing that allows us to integrate the true soul self and be guided. And as we go through that, we have to relearn how to trust ourselves again, how to honor ourselves again. And as we do that, there's going to be programs that come up that tell us we're selfish with this, with that, but that is not the truth. I came to I thought about this a long time ago, which came into my consciousness, and I was like, if everybody is always doing something to please others, to fit into societal expectations and to do that, then who's actually happy? And that's what's being created, right? Everyone's been living up to all these expectations that are not rooted in, not everyone, but not rooted in the heart space. Collectively, as a collective, that's what we've been doing for a long time. And that's what's created. We can look at and we can see how it creates disease, dis-ease in the mind, dis-ease in the body, and creates all these afflictions, all this conflict, all this war, all this separation. But as we all start to move into our heart spaces, yes, we've got to go on a journey of healing, but that journey of healing is, it's amazing. So many gifts come as we decide to commit to ourselves and go on that journey. It allows us to connect to our true souls. When we connect to our true souls, we are connecting to God. We are connecting to Source. We are connecting to the creator of all that is and all that ever will be. And we're starting to bring that light into all of those dark places that have stopped us from connecting that, and we start to feel connected again. We start to feel connected to life, to joy, to love, to pleasure, to all of these things. We start to realize our light, and then we start to grow our light. And in growing our light, we're going to continue to see those dark spaces inside of us, and we go on that journey of healing. And it is a fun journey to go on, and it brings so many blessings and gifts, not just individually. It brings it individually, of course it does, but it brings it collectively as well, and it brings it for the planet. And we're all here to be in service for each other, to assist each other, but not in a way that puts us at the bottom of the pile, because you can't give from a place of being empty. When you are filled up with your own light and joy and love and knowing, and you are rooted in your authenticity, that's when you really assist humanity to also do the same and to rise collectively. And that's what we're reconnecting back into right now. This is how I work with my clients. This is the journey that I have been on, a deep journey of reconnection, of discovering my inner worlds again, of discovering that my body is a portal to so many different dimensions, and discovering that there were parts of me that's been frozen on timelines from wounds that I've experienced in past lives, in this life, on many different levels and dimensions. And I've been going back and bringing those consciousness packets back, and every time I do that, I become more whole, I become more authentic, I move more into joy and flow with my life. And that's the journey of reconnection, of healing everything that needs to be healed within our body, of transforming into our true soul selves, moving on to our destined path, embracing what we came here to do, because everyone that came to earth has a purpose for being here. Overall our purpose is to grow, expand, but you also have something in you that lights you up, that you came to contribute to the world. So through your light, through your joy, we've been programmed in the opposite to feel like that is not a way to live, it's not a way to contribute through our light and through our joy. We've been programmed to believe we should contribute through jobs that make us feel miserable and anxious and stressed. And that's an inversion, that's the inverted matrix we've been living in. As we go in this profound journey of reconnection, we start to move into the organic matrix, where actually no, we contribute through what lights us up, through what brings us joy, because it is the light that is the true source, is true God creator, is the light. So as we connect back to that, we bring that onto the planet, and together we then work together. We're all these pieces of this puzzle, and we all have a piece to play. And when we start to find our piece through finding our authenticity, through finding what lights us up, then we start to play our part, and we all start to come together. As I've been on this journey of reconnection, healing, awakening, because as you heal, you awaken, as you awaken, you heal and you transform. All these things happen simultaneously. As I've been on that journey, I've been attracting to me a new tribe of people. I've been attracting my soul tribe that are also on that journey, and together we support each other, and together we help each other, because we each hold a piece that starts to come together. We start to find the pieces that fit. We no longer that square at the edge of the jigsaw trying to fit in to the middle, or the middle of a jigsaw trying to fit in on the edge. We find our place and we start to fit into place, and then we start to become this masterpiece of art that just starts to work in harmony and in flow together. So if you are interested in going on that reconnection journey, you can check out my description. The journey that I've been on birthed an online 8-week reconnection program where I'm a qualified hypnotherapist, rapid transformational therapist. I'm a soul guide and a mentor, and I bring everything that I have learned, embodied, all the healing that I've done into this 8-week program called Reconnect. So if you're interested, check it out in the description below. But anyway, I just wanted to bring through this small message. I wanted to bring awareness to that, because often we don't realize these little steps that we're taking and making great waves. So just remember to celebrate yourself. Just remember to give yourself a break, because we've been programmed again to be really harsh with ourselves, and we need to reprogram that. If you're watching this, you are exactly where you are meant to be right now.